Hey Diego, how you doing today?
I'm alright, how you doing?
I'm doing well. So just catch me up on how everything has been in this past week since last time we met.
Um, it's been a little better, but mainly I feel really stressed still.
About the same thing? Sorry to cut you
Yeah,
off.
it's all good. Just basketball and having a kid and trying to manage that with school has just been really hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been up all night with my schoolwork, and then I have 6 a.m. practice, 8 a.m. class, and I have to balance having a kid. It's just difficult for me. I
So
need help.
pretty much the same things that we were dealing with this past week. You're a full-time student. You're a junior in college.
Right.
You have a 2-year-old. And not only being in college and having a 2-year-old, you're a D1 athlete. So you have practices all day. You have mandatory study hours, mandatory things you have to do with your team, and you need to spend time with your child.
Yeah, it's tough.
I can only imagine. I know that I was in college, so I can identify with you. I know how stressful it was just being in college. I'm a little curious to hear a little more about what you're feeling because I too have a son. He's a little bit older, but I didn't have him in college. And then
Oh, really?
more than that, I was not a D1 athlete. I'm not an athlete at all. And I for sure wasn't a D1 athlete. So can you tell me maybe a little bit more about those aspects of your life and the results of like what you're really dealing with because of those components of your life?
Well, as I started to say, we have 6 a.m. workouts pretty much every day besides Friday. So dealing with that, and then I'm exhausted when I'm done with practice. And going to class, I'm half asleep in class. I don't retain all the information that they're giving me. Don't take good notes.
Mm-hmm.
My classmates can tell that I'm just exhausted. And I'll go straight from class. In between classes, we have workouts too. So I have to deal with that. And then when I get done, all of the schoolwork that I had for me to go with practice, and usually I have my son with me, so it's really tough because he's young, he's wanting to play, running around everywhere, so I really don't have much time. And once he goes to bed around like 9 o'clock, then I get my work done, 12 or 1 every night, so I'm getting like 5 hours of sleep, like not any sleep. I need sleep.
I understand. We all need sleep. Well, I'm seeing a few things here that I think it's important to point out. Number one, that you're dedicated to your schoolwork. That may not even be number one. Number one, that you're dedicated to your son. The fact that you are feeling stressed, maybe overwhelmed. Would you say that you're feeling overwhelmed?
Very overwhelmed.
But you still want to make sure that you spend time with your son. I think that that's a positive. And that shows what kind of person that you are. And I think that we need to not forget that. And you need to not forget that when you're going through your day.
It's really hard, honestly.
Also, though, you've been in college, though. You're a junior?
Correct.
So 3 years, and your son is 2. And you played college ball the whole time, right?
Right.
So you've been doing this for the past 2 years. And you've done it successfully because you can't play college basketball if your GPA goes too low.
True.
So I think your dedication has paid off this far. And I think that your dedication will continue to pay off.
Hopefully. Just right now, I really feel stressed and overwhelmed. Just getting no sleep is taking a toll on me, not only in the classroom, but also on the court.
Right.
My minutes might go down just because I haven't been playing like I usually do, because I'm so exhausted and worn out.
Understand.
And with my schoolwork, I'm falling behind too.
I understand. What is a part of your life, be it with school, with basketball, with your son? What is a positive aspect of your life that you do enjoy?
Really, just my son. I've always loved basketball, but ever since I had my son, like he takes the #1 seat, and I'm always just worried about him. He makes me happy when I see him every day, so that's the only positive. Besides that, I'm really just like depressed and down because I feel like I don't know how I'm gonna make it through, and things aren't going the way that I want them to right now. So it's just been really rough on me.
Does it does it make you feel better because your son is so important to you and basketball used to be your number one seed, as you just said? The fact that your son gets to watch you play basketball, does that increase the dedication that you've already exhibited that you have?
It definitely does. He's my world, and I love to make him happy and proud. So, yeah, I definitely play a lot harder on the court just because I know he's watching.
Of course.
And I want to set that good example. And I want him to tell his friends his dad was a great basketball player.
So, that's a positive. That even if you're tired, you're doing something that you love. That you know what you enjoy, and you know what the end outcome you want to see. So, it's great that we have that. It's great that you realize that. Let's see. So, it sounds like you desire to be a good father. Is that fair to say?
That's very fair.
Okay, perfect.
Means a lot to me.
Can you think of a time, maybe over the summer or when basketball isn't in season, or another time when you don't feel as stressed or as overwhelmed and still feel like a good father?
Mainly when during the breaks, like the Christmas breaks and stuff, when I don't have as much school, and I just get to spend more time with him when I'm not on the court. That's a little better and a little less stressful, but it's still stressful just because I'm running around with him all day, and then I also have multiple practices, usually like 2 practices, and weightlifting, and having been communicating with my teammates, and because I'm a leader on the team, I'm the team captain.
What's a good part? So you're a leader. That's great. That's a positive, showing that there are results from what you're doing. I think that your dedication, the fact that you're driven, you're a leader, it's showing that even if you feel overwhelmed, your actions are producing results. So maybe look into those, to the results, the outcomes of your actions, and maybe not just the means to get to your outcome, but the outcomes themselves. Maybe focus on those. What is something that makes you feel good that you do every day?
Honestly, seeing my son, I know I've said it a lot, but he just makes me the happiest. Coming home to him when I'm done with class, and I pick him up and seeing his smile makes my whole day.
So tell me a little bit more about what you all do together.
Usually we play, we go to the lake, go outside all the time. He loves to be outside.
Loves you outside.
Yeah, he walks a lot. He loves to walk and run with me and go to the park.
It sounds like one of the things that you aspired to be was a good father, and the fact that your son likes to be outside and likes to be active, it sounds like he's also going to be an athlete. That's what it sounded like to me.
Yeah. I hope so. Yeah, we're always at the park shooting ball. He can't shoot it to the rim yet, but we work on his dribbling skills and stuff like that.
So even though the basketball seems to be stressing you out a little bit right now, it seems to also bring pleasure to you and to your son, which is your number one priority, which is great.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great thing that you're doing. You're taking 2 of your passions together, and there's results coming from it.
Lately, it's just been hard, though. Even though they make me really happy, it's just hard to focus on the positive with all this overwhelming schoolwork and stuff.
I understand. And school's hard. School is hard. And then I can't imagine being in your position with the added things. But it seems like you're doing really, really well. And you're meeting your goals, especially being a good father, just by what you've told me. So let's say that a miracle happened tonight. And all the stress, the feeling overwhelmed, the being exhausted, all of it was gone. None of it was there at all. Can you tell me a little bit about what your life would look like?
My life would be a lot easier, I guess.
What would be going on in your life?
As far as school, or as far as...
Whatever you think. Whatever would be your perfect, all your problems are gone.
all my problems gone, it would be me and my son, probably somewhere on the beach, with building sandcastles and like running in the shallow part of the ocean.
Would you be finished with school?
I'd be finished with school.
Okay.
It'd be the summertime and it'd be the off season because I'd be playing basketball somewhere professionally.
So you'd still be playing basketball?
Yeah.
So that's important to you?
Basketball's always been important to me. Since I was really, really young. I probably started about the age that my son is, maybe a year later, but I've been playing ever since then. Playing like school with travel teams and it's just been something that's consumed my life my whole life.
So it's always been there.
Always
and you've
been
always found a way to handle it because your coach thought that you would be great at being a captain within the past 3 years, even though you've had the stress. And in your perfect life, basketball is still there. Even when all the stress is gone that comes from basketball is still there.
It's still there, definitely.
And your son is still there. So even though these things are causing a little stress, they're still there. So I think that's important to remember that it's not these things that are causing the stress. The stress is temporary. So what are some things that you can do to get to that perfect miracle day with your son?
Well, I guess I just have to grind it out and finish school. I guess staying focused. If I look at it positively, I think I can. Lately, it's been hard to, but...
Why do you think that you can?
Well, just because you said that I've done it so far, and it kind of showed me that, yeah, that's true. I never really thought about that. So, I think just focusing on the fact that I've done it for 3 years and I still have 2 things that I love right there in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
It'll push me to go forward and complete school, and then maybe I can have some relaxing time.
Perfect. Well, right now we've come to the end of our session. So it's been great talking with you today.
Yeah, thanks.